Yahoo! The largest data breach in history impacted 3 billion accounts. Hackers accessed names, emails, phone numbers, and hashed passwords. Yahoo, however, didn't disclose the breach until 2016, even though it occurred in 2013. The breach affected users of Yahoo Mail, Yahoo Finance, and other Yahoo services, and led to lawsuits and a significant loss in trust. Yahoo's delayed response and lack of transparency caused irreparable damage to its reputation and highlighted the risks of inadequate data protection measures at large companies. Equifax. In 2017, 147 million people had their personal financial data stolen from Equifax, one of the biggest credit reporting agencies. Hackers exploited a known vulnerability in the Apache Strut software, which Equifax failed to patch. The breach exposed sensitive data, including social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and credit card information. The breach led to widespread public outrage, a settlement of $700 million, and highlighted the critical need for businesses to stay on top of software updates, especially when dealing with sensitive financial data. Facebook. Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica harvested data from 87 million Facebook profiles without proper consent by using a quiz app. The firm used this data to target voters in the 2016 U.S. presidential election and other political campaigns. The breach didn't involve traditional hacking. Rather, it was an example of misuse of data already accessible through Facebook. This exposed the flaws in how platforms handle data and led to global calls for stricter data privacy laws, including the GDPR in Europe. Facebook faced fines, legal challenges, and ongoing public scrutiny as a result. Target. In 2013, 40 million credit and debit card numbers were stolen from Target during the holiday shopping season. Hackers gained access through a third-party vendor, an HVAC contractor, and installed malware in Target's point-of-sale systems. The breach also affected an additional 70 million customers by exposing personal information such as names, phone numbers, and email addresses. Target spent more than $300 million in settlements and security upgrades, and was widely criticized for not detecting the breach sooner. This incident highlighted how cybercriminals can use vulnerable third-party contractors to bypass security measures. Marriott International suffered a breach that affected 500 million of its customers through its acquisition of Starwood Hotels. Attackers accessed a reservation system dating back to 2014 and stole sensitive data such as passport numbers, addresses, dates of birth, and travel information. The breach lasted for years before being discovered and revealed the dangers of merging systems from different companies without properly securing data. The breach also raised alarms about the vulnerabilities of global hospitality chains storing large amounts of personal and travel-related data. Sony Pictures. In 2014, Sony Pictures was hacked by a group believed to be from North Korea in retaliation for the movie The Interview. Hackers leaked emails, financial documents, and unreleased movies, causing both financial and reputational damage. The attack exposed private communications among executives, revealing inappropriate and embarrassing content. The breach was not just about data theft, it was an act of political retaliation, demonstrating how cyber attacks could be used as a form of warfare. It also raised concerns about corporate espionage and the consequences of internal security lapses. LinkedIn. The initial breach in 2012 impacted 165 million accounts, with emails and hashed passwords stolen. In 2021, new data scraping methods and breaches led to 700 million accounts being exposed. The data included work history, job titles, email addresses, and other professional details. This data was sold on the dark web, making it highly valuable for phishing and social engineering attacks. LinkedIn's data breach demonstrated how professional networks, if compromised, can lead to larger security issues. It also highlighted the risk of data scraping and how valuable professional data can be to attackers. Capital One. A breach in 2019 saw 100 million Capital One customers exposed, with data including social security numbers, banking information, and credit scores. The breach occurred through a misconfigured firewall in Amazon Web Services, AWS, which was exploited by a former employee of AWS. The breach showcased the risks associated with cloud-based services and highlighted the need for proper configuration of cloud environments. The attack was another reminder of how insider threats and poor cloud security practices can lead to massive breaches. Uber. In 2016, Uber was hacked, and 57 million drivers and customers had their personal information stolen, including names, emails, and driver's license numbers. The worst part was that Uber attempted to cover up the breach by paying the hackers $100,000 to keep it quiet. The breach wasn't disclosed until 2017, which led to major fallout for Uber. This breach was a turning point in cybersecurity awareness, demonstrating the importance of full disclosure in the event of a breach and the risks of paying hackers to stay silent. T-Mobile. In 2021, T-Mobile faced another major breach, affecting 40 million customers. Data stolen included social security numbers, driver's license details, and phone numbers. This was one of multiple breaches T-Mobile had faced over the years, demonstrating repeated security failures at the company. The breach not only exposed sensitive data, but also eroded customer trust. It revealed how hackers target large telecom companies that store vast amounts of personal information and how third-party vulnerabilities can lead to catastrophic data exposure. Adobe. In 2013, hackers breached Adobe's systems, stealing data from 153 million user accounts. The stolen data included payment card details, encrypted passwords, and personal information. Adobe's failure to properly secure its payment system and use effective encryption led to widespread concerns about the security of creative and enterprise software. Adobe suffered severe reputational damage, and the breach underscored the need for companies dealing with sensitive customer data to employ stronger encryption and multi-layered security practices. MySpace. The MySpace data breach, which affected 360 million accounts, wasn't discovered until years later in 2016. The stolen data included usernames, passwords, and email addresses. Despite MySpace's decline in popularity by then, the data was still valuable for attackers to use in credential stuffing attacks. The breach revealed that even seemingly outdated platforms can have significant security flaws that affect users long after they've stopped being active. eBay. In 2014, hackers stole 145 million accounts from eBay, including encrypted passwords and personal information. The hackers gained access through employee credentials and accessed eBay's internal network. This breach emphasized the importance of employee training and access control in preventing internal and external attacks. eBay's failure to immediately disclose the breach was also a key issue, as many users were unaware of the breach until it was widely reported. Ashley Madison. The Ashley Madison breach exposed 32 million user accounts from the extramarital dating site. The breach not only revealed personal information but also caused significant harm to users, including public humiliation and legal issues. Some victims even faced life-threatening situations as a result of the leak. The breach highlighted how sites handling sensitive, personal data can face unique security challenges and how breaches can have devastating real-life consequences. Anthem, one of the largest health insurers in the U.S., was breached in 2015, with attackers stealing 78.8 million health insurance records. The stolen data included social security numbers, medical IDs, birth dates, and income data. The breach raised significant concerns about the security of health-related data and how valuable it is to attackers. The breach also demonstrated how healthcare organizations, despite holding massive amounts of personal data, often fall short on cybersecurity protections. Dropbox hackers stole 68 million passwords from Dropbox in 2012, but the breach wasn't revealed until 2016 when the data surfaced online. Dropbox's delayed disclosure and the poor encryption practices at the time led to a loss of trust among users. It also demonstrated how old breaches could continue to affect users years later if companies don't take prompt action and improve their security systems over time. Zynga, the mobile game developer, was breached in 2019, with 218 million players' data stolen, including usernames, emails, and passwords. Zynga's security weaknesses exposed the personal information of millions of casual gamers. The breach raised concerns about data security in the gaming industry, highlighting the need for better protections in mobile and online games. LinkedIn. The LinkedIn breach, which impacted 700 million accounts, involved the scraping of professional data like emails, job titles, and skills. The scraped data was sold on the dark web and used for phishing attacks targeting business professionals. The breach exposed the growing threat of data scraping